Hello, how you doing? Heather and I are here at Orlando Wetlands Park, which is kind of near Orlando, Florida, but not right next to it. It's a little drive. I'll put the drive time from Disney World to here on the screen now. And they have just built a new boardwalk here, I think within the last month or so. So Heather and I are going to check it out. And we both got on our cool hats. And we both have our R7s and 100 to 500, so let's go see if we can find that boardwalk. We were making our way towards the boardwalk and I looked over to the right and they've got this bat house, and then near the bat house is a sign and there's a red-shouldered hawk on it. And when I first saw it from a distance, I thought, well, that's just like a fake hawk to keep critters away, but I got close enough to get a shot of it, and turns out it is an actual red-shouldered hawk. So that'll be the first pictures from Orlando Wetlands. Heather said that's the closest she's ever been to a wild hawk, so that was pretty cool. We slowly kind of kept once we got to where we could fill the frame, we kind of walked and kept that same radius and walked around in a circle till we got good sun angle on the hawk and made a few shots. And we never did spook the hawk, but two more red-shouldered hawks flew in and started calling, and then it flew off and started flying around with them. But anyway,
that's cool.
We're still looking for the boardwalk, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the extremis version of the red-shouldered hawk that you see in Florida. It looks different than the red-shouldered hawks that you see up here in Tennessee, but we were sure happy to get some photographs of it. These first two photographs are mine, and I shared the closest one that I could get, plus one on the ground. Here's Heather's shots. She started out sharing one from kind of when we first started photographing the hawk, and we were on the back side of that little platform it was on. And then she got another one when the hawk flew down to the ground for just a moment. And after that, it flew back up to its perch. And by that time, we were kind of making our way around the circle. As you can see, we can see the roofing shingles now on its little perch. And Heather shared one last shot when we got as close to it as we got before the other hawks flew in. And you can see it's looking at the other hawks now that were flying around.
We're still making our way back towards the new boardwalk. And now we're coming up to this, what looks like a new building that they're building.
It's going to be an education center.
Oh, Heather said it's going to be an education center. That's cool. And there was a little handwritten sign that said boardwalk this way. So this way we go. So we still haven't made it to the boardwalk yet, but we were walking past these little trees, still beside the new building. And I saw a small bird and I said, I wonder what that is. And I got a closer look at it, and it was a blue-headed vireo. Only the second time Heather and I have ever photographed one. So that was cool. And we got a blue-gray gnatcatcher, and I think Heather's photographing right now on that fence a palm warbler. So we're digging this place.
Here is my photo of the blue-headed vireo. This is only the second blue-headed vireo we've ever seen in photographs, so that was really cool. And here's the blue-gray gnatcatcher. This was the best shot I could get of it. Kind of facing the wrong way, but at least the eye is nice and in focus. Heather did a little bit better job, I thought, than I did capturing those two birds. Here is the first of Heather's blue-gray gnatcatcher shots that she decided to share, and here is the second one. She did a really nice job capturing this bird, and she did a much better job capturing this one, the blue-gray gnatcatcher. You can actually see a spider web behind it in the tree that it was in. And Heather didn't want to share this palm warbler shot, but she decided to share it because I had mentioned it in the video clip that I made just prior to showing you these pictures. Here's the palm warbler on the fence.
We're still making our way to the boardwalk, and it's not a long walk. It's just that we keep seeing cool stuff that slows us down. Saw another red-shouldered hawk. This one was on top of a palm tree eating what looked like a frog, and then I got a phoebe.
This red-shouldered hawk was so much further away than the one that we photographed earlier in the video, but I thought it looked good on the palm tree, and especially with that frog under it. And here is the eastern phoebe that I photographed just after photographing that red-shouldered hawk. And Heather decided to go ahead and get a photograph of the red-shouldered hawk as well, but by the time she snapped her picture, the frog was gone. So I don't know if it dropped it or where it went.
Still haven't made it to the boardwalk yet, but there's a little clearing right here, and there's tons of black-fronted whistling ducks out there. Right over here is a Roseate Spoonbill feeding, and we're still seeing some small warblers here and there. This place is crazy.
This is Heather's photograph of a yellow-rumped warbler that she got as we were walking along the trail that takes you to the boardwalk. And she also photographed this Roseate Spoonbill that was feeding there. Kind of an obscured shot, but Heather loves these spoonbills, so she'll take a picture of them whether or not they're obscured, and I don't blame her. They're really beautiful. And the next shot is, I called it a black-fronted whistling duck, but it's actually a black-bellied whistling duck. There were so many of these there, but we didn't get very many decent pictures of them.
Heather's working on getting whistling duck pictures now, and she also got a yellow-rumped warbler, and I got a white ibis that was flying in to land by that spoonbill that you can't quite get a shot of. It's just hidden over here on the right.
I think this white ibis photograph is my favorite photograph of mine in the entire video. I just love all the colors, and I like the angle that it's at as it's flying in. And next is my only black-bellied whistling duck photograph. There were so many of these there, and Heather and I only presented one picture each.
The spoonbill finally came out far enough to get maybe one unobstructed shot of it.
Here's my photograph of the spoonbill that was feeding there in the marshy area at Orlando Wetlands. What an amazing bird.
I made a video clip of the spoonbill feeding right next to a white ibis.
There they are, the white ibis in the foreground and the roseate spoonbill in the background, feeding in the marsh. I enjoy making video clips of these birds.
We made it to the Cypress Boardwalk Trail, where you can take a bike, but you have to walk it. You can hike, no horses. And it is a nice long boardwalk right through the wetlands. Really awesome.
Anytime you're in a wetland area in the state of Florida, you're probably going to see an alligator. I made this video clip of this one, but didn't photograph any of the ones that we saw. Here's a photograph I made of a blue-winged teal, which are pretty common, I've found, in Florida in the winter months. And here is a wood stork, small in the frame, that I photographed as it flew across over the wetlands. Just beautiful. And this, I believe, is a glossy ibis that I photographed there in the wetlands. And the next photograph is a bird that was actually on the boardwalk. This is a palm warbler that was on the handrail of the boardwalk, and I thought it was fun to get a photograph of it on the boardwalk. Now here's Heather's photograph. She photographed also the blue-winged teal there in the water near the boardwalk, and she also got a nice photograph of this glossy ibis, almost in the exact same pose as the shot that I got. For the most part, it was preening, but it poked its head up just long enough to get one shot, and we each got that same shot. This is a roseate spoonbill that was deep in the brush. That Heather loves those spoonbills, so she got that shot. And this is a bird we see all the time back in Tennessee. This is an American coot with its amazing red eyes.
We've made our way a long way down the boardwalk. You can see it curving around. And right here is, let me see how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 wood storks in the top of those trees right there.
There's a spoonbill right there.
And there goes a spoonbill flying right by. Heather's getting pictures of the back of it, unfortunately.
Yep.
That's the way it goes sometimes. All of a sudden, another one.
Yeah.
I don't see any more flying in. We like spoonbills.
Heather did a really great job photographing spoonbills in flight, and I think this is my favorite one just because the light is so amazing, and she did a great job with the edit. And she got a number of spoonbill in flight photographs, and I did as well, but mine were all small in the frame, and I didn't even fool with editing them. But Heather worked on hers, and she got them to look absolutely fantastic. So I'll share her spoonbill in flight photos with you right now. Just an amazing bird, so beautiful, great colors as it flies over the wetlands there in Orlando Wetlands. We were so happy to figure out finally, after years of saying, boy, we sure would like to see spoonbills, and going to Florida in July and not seeing any. When you go in the winter months, that's when you can see a spoonbill. We were here at Orlando Wetlands in mid-January. So there is the last of Heather's spoonbill in flight photos.
We made our way all the way out to the end of the boardwalk, and now we're turning around and coming back. We really just planned to be here for a couple minutes and ended up falling in love with the place, so we'll definitely be back.
Here's a couple of quick video clips that I made with the R7 and the 100 to 500. First up is a great egret that was fishing there in the wetlands, and next is a large group of American coots doing their thing. I make video clips like this all the time at Harrison Bay State Park back home, but it was fun to see the American coots in Florida.
This area here is really cool because the sun is pointing right at the island, and the island has about 15 spoonbills on it, and one of them flew by, and we got a fairly decent in-flight shot of it.
Here's a yellow-rumped warbler shot that I got while I was on the boardwalk. This is in a tree that was just off of the boardwalk. And next up is a spoonbill that was on a perch. It was just about to take off, and I love the bokeh-fied background in this shot. And then kind of a distance away, but I just love the background in this shot with the spoonbill was on a branch and there was all sorts of trees in the background. And then I zoomed a little bit further back, and there's the spoonbill looking up at a white ibis as if to say, please don't poop at this time. Here's Heather shots from this area. She got a shot of the spoonbill there in the with all the trees around it, just beautiful. And then I got a shot also of a tricolored heron. This is my shot of a tricolored heron on the handrail there at Orlando Wetlands.
Well, we've made it back off the boardwalk and we're heading back to the car. And there's still so many photography opportunities here. About 2:30 in the afternoon. And there's really good sun angle on these birds. There's the most whistling ducks I've ever seen.
As we made our way back to the car, Heather got this beautiful photograph of this little blue heron, just an amazing and beautiful bird. And I made a video clip of a tricolored heron that was fishing in the shallow water there at Orlando Wetlands, kind of hiding behind some tall grasses in the water.
All right, we have really enjoyed, this is a new spot for us, Orlando Wetlands, and we will definitely visit here again sometime. Did you like it too?
It's good.
Did I wear you out, walking you all over the place?
Yeah.
Because this is our second place. We were at the Black Point Wildlife Drive this morning, so we've been at it for bird photography literally 8 hours. That's a long time with chasing birds. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell if you want to see some more. And as always, we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye from Orlando Wetlands.